Hello, everybody. Welcome to the CRL podcast, or the Pood, as we like to call it. We're having an absolutely fantastic time today. It's going to be the usual cast of group we got going on here. It's going to be me, Jake. It's going to be Jim's, Dapper, and of course we got CNK. We got Matty Ice on the dials in the background. Shout out Matty Ice. But hey, how's everybody doing today? I mean, we got a podcast. We're gonna have a great time, aren't we?
Oh yeah, I mean it's a Monday, so
Mm-hmm.
start of the week working. It's been a long day.
You got a bad
Sorry
case
about
of the
that.
Mondays, Dapper?
Yes,
No,
very
it's all
very
right.
much so.
Yeah, I was supposed to go to work today. I was supposed to go to the office. It didn't happen. I,
Close.
I woke
Next
up at
time.
6 o'clock and just said no. I'm good.
You got close though.
I did take a
Yeah,
shower. I did take a
Okay.
shower.
Okay.
I still need to get past that.
You didn't get that close, but you got
No, I
close
didn't.
enough.
No, I did. I took a shower. I did my hair, and then I sat on my bed and I just said no. I'm good.
it's just
Said
like
no.
nope.
Nope.
I'm not gonna lie, I did that last week too. Took a shower, got ready, put my fancy schmancy office clothes on, got dressed, and grabbed my keys and everything. I was like, you know what? I'm not going in today. I'm gonna work from home. Went to change straight back into my sweatpants. Sat down on my desk.
That does sound like a vibe. It does sound like a vibe. So it sounds like we all have a case of the Mondays. It's not
Absolutely.
just Dapper. So yeah, I mean we don't really have much to talk about today. Call of Duty kind of been slowing down a little bit, after the last major. Obviously everybody's just waiting for champs. We talked about kind of the Snoopy move last week. So not really much to talk about. We could maybe touch on challengers a little bit. Obviously what was the name of the team that did end up qualifying for? It was Orbit. It was Tom Gravity, Classic, Geo, and Jimbo. They are the last team that qualified through Challengers that is going to be going to the Challengers Championships this season, and they are going to be on the main stage if they do end up making the finals. That's the big change that people have really been talking about. That's going to be fun this season. So if you're going to champs, you get to see people on stage that are part of Challengers this time around.
A shout out main stage for challengers, bro. That's a big thing they've wanted. Not only wanted, they deserve. Right. Something they've deserved for a while. So it's good to see that coming back.
I'm curious to see what their whole playing situation is going to be like at champs in general. I know at Vanguard champs it was just kind of in a little back
Right.
room somewhere, and they were playing for 100 grand, and it was just in like a small little, I don't know, tiny little gym for warm-ups or something. I don't know. It was very, very underwhelming, and they didn't even get to play on main stage for the grand final. So I'm curious to see how it's going to be at Vegas. I can't wait next week when Jake, you're going to be there too, right?
I'm not going to be there, sadly.
You're not?
You're not?
No, I'm not gonna be there.
Everybody bailed on gyms, bro. No way.
I was not.
No.
I was never
Look at this
committed to
dude.
going. I was like, I might
That's
be able to
fair.
go, but yeah, it's probably not
There's
gonna be in the
still
cards.
room. There's
Oh,
still
that's
room in my
right.
hotel.
I forgot it's not in Cali this year. It's in
Yeah,
Vegas.
if it was in LA,
Thank
I'd be
God.
going for sure.
Yeah, that's
It's just right down the
unfortunate.
block and around the corner.
Yeah, I mean, 4 hour drive is still kind of a right around the corner, I think.
A little bit. If it was LA traffic, it might as well be all the same. Am I right, boys?
Oh, you're not wrong.
You know what I mean. You know what I mean.
No,
But
I was
what
gonna,
were you gonna say, CNK? Go ahead.
nothing. Hey, I got nothing, man. I got nothing. I've heard some things about Jimbo. Other than that, nothing.
All right. Well, yeah. So, like we said, not really much to talk about today. So, what we did kind of think that we could do today, since it's kind of a off script podcast, probably one of the least scripted podcasts we've ever done. We might take a little bit to talk about ourselves today because everybody knows us, but not everybody knows how we ended up getting here. A lot of people have joined the CRL, whether it be in the past season or whether it be 3 seasons ago. They probably still don't know too much about how we ended up here in this situation in the Call of Duty Rec League. Like me personally, I don't really know how CNK or Dapper kind of ended up here. I maybe heard it like as a side comment at one point, but I don't really know as a full story. So maybe that could be interesting to talk about. We are probably going to talk about that, but yeah, I mean, I think it'd be a good time to get a little CRL history lesson for everybody that's interested in kind of how we ended up here.
Now, when you say ended up here,
Oui, oui.
how far back are we going?
I mean, me
To
personally, I'm thinking
When
like,
you entered the server.
it's like Yeah, how did you end up like basically when you started like gaming slash getting into competitive Call of Duty to when you joined the server? Because everybody knows once you got into the server like how you're kind of made your moves into becoming like a moderator, caster, producer, whatever. But how did you end up in this location? I don't know. Does anybody want to start? Like, who wants to talk about how they kind of fell in love with competitive Call of Duty in the first place? Is anybody interested in taking that leap? Because it is kind of a leap of faith being the first one.
You know what?
Yeah,
I'll do it.
I was gonna
Let
say
me go
I want to
first.
volunteer Dapper because he's the most recent introductory to
Oh yeah,
competitive Call of Duty.
CDL era. Literally, well,
Yeah,
right
Oh
before
True.
gosh.
technically, but basically CDL era.
yeah.
He's a bandwagon fan. You'll find out soon.
Oh my god. All right. So, man, my love for competitive games. Well, honestly, it didn't even start with FPS games. It started with racing games. There was I would play Gran Turismo or like Need for Speed or something like that with my brothers, and I was always better than them. I wanted to stay better than them, and I did. And so I would always play and try to get better and like learn like shortcuts and whatnot and how to shorten my time. And I did. And then at the time I was living on base Fort Benning. They had this little arcade center, and they had all these like shooter games, like FPS games. And I remember I used to play Delta Force, and they had like a big like LAN section where like all the kids would come in and play. That's how like I started playing like shooters. And then fast forward like 15, 17 years later, I met, Matty
Long
Ice.
fast forward.
What?
I said a long. That was a long fast forward. You said 15,
Well, I
17
mean,
years.
if you want to get like to the nitty gritty things of it, like, so that's
Dapper,
how it.
you have the floor.
You
I have the
really do.
floor.
You
All
have the
right.
floor.
So
Tell us everything we want to know.
everything you want to know. All right. Well, English is not my first language.
Ooh,
So
that's a fun little fact.
it is.
Hog.
It was actually German. So when I was little, I would play like Reading Blaster and like Math Blaster and stuff like that, and like all these other games like in elementary school and like first grade, kindergarten and whatnot, to learn how to speak and like kind of get my stepping stone and whatnot. And that was like my introduction like to video games like in general. 'Cause it was like on an old like Windows like 98 operating system, really old. And then I would my dad had like these games he brought back from base and whatnot. So I would play like, oh god, Duck Hunt or it's like a PS2 game called Delta Force. That was my favorite game. Um, and then I remember one day my brother was talking about this game that was coming out soon. And he got a beta code for it. That game was called Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. This was
Mm.
2007. I was like, that sounds like fun. So I was watching him play, and this was back then we only had like one Xbox, and it was my brother's Xbox. So he had priority on it. I had to wait for him to get off the game. Eventually, when he would go to work, I would hop on, and in the beta, there's only one map, and that map was Crash. So Crash was the OG map, the very first like traditional multiplayer Call of
Mhm.
Duty map. That was Crash, and I played it, and my brother was like a very big person, like not prestiging his account at all. And I remember I was getting bored because I was always had that like the thought in my mind is like, why play if you have no progression? Like if I'm playing, I want to progress. I want to unlock stuff. I want to level. So when he was at work, I prestiged him. He was pretty mad about it.
Dang!
He
Wow,
was
you really
really
went
mad.
behind his
Wow,
back.
you're a little
Yep.
snake.
But I got his levels back in a couple days.
I would have done
So
the same.
I grinded. It was my favorite favorite game. But I wasn't really a competitive player. I pubs was my stomping ground. Like, I stuck with team deathmatch. I stuck with like headquarters or domination. I hated search and destroy. My friends always wanted to play search and destroy, and every time they would play, I'd leave. I hated it. It's like you don't get to respawn. What kind of game mode is this? This is lame. So, I just had no interest in playing search and destroy. So I'd kind of bail on them and just play like team deathmatch or something like that. I was that kid. and
He's a TDM
no,
kid.
yeah,
Wow.
and I
Oh,
played it
You're
every.
the one
no
who bragged
wonder
about
he's a
your 5.
FaZe fan, bro.
You're the one who bragged about your 5 KD, and it was all in TDM, I bet.
Yeah, yeah. And then World War II came out, and they had their whole ranked play spiel, and I tried it out, and I was like, man, sucks. Like, who would
We
want to play this?
we aren't in Kansas anymore. This is a TDM.
Because I mean, I was getting stomped on. I was like, man, these guys are good. Like, what are they doing? Like, why are they playing like this? So, never played again. Never touched it. And I was went back to my old TDM domination game modes. Started playing that. I think World War II had the one game mode was like war, I think, or something like that. Where you proceed like through certain objectives. That was fun too. But then I think it was 2017 when I met Hyped and Iceberg, and I remember we were supposed to. I forgot where we were going that day. We were going somewhere, but we had to wait because there was a Black Ops 4 event on, and Optic was about to play. So we delayed our plans like a whole hour, hour and a half, just to watch Optic play.
But you didn't
And
watch CDL at this point. Who was the Optic fan?
that would be Matt and Hyped.
Oh,
You were an Optic fan at that point.
He's
I don't want to
fan.
hear it. No, you were an Optic fan. at
Matty
that point. I
Ice was an
vividly
Optic
remember.
fan. Oh my god, we already knew these
At one
details,
point.
but tell us more. No, I'm just kidding.
And this isn't.
So-
I guess it is pretty far removed from Nate Shot being on the team. So
very
Yeah.
much so.
Oh
And
yeah.
go to.
I remember we're sitting at my house just watching it, and everybody's ready to go. But we're staying here and watching this, and I was like, "What are they playing? Like, what are these game modes? What are they doing?" So I had Hyped and Iceberg break down each game mode to me, and explain how it works, because I didn't know what Hardpoint was. I mean, I knew what it was, I just didn't know how it worked because I never played it. Obviously, I knew what Search and Destroy was. I just hated it. So I didn't care about watching that. And God, the third game of Control, I didn't know what Control was, so they had to explain that to me. That explained each player, but of course, like as a person who played Call of Duty games, you knew who the big name players were. Like Scump, everyone knows Scump. Like if you play
Transcends
video
Call of
games, you know
Duty.
Scump. What?
He transcends Call of Duty for sure.
Oh, 100%. And yeah, so I got interested in it and I started watching it. Then I started watching back like highlights of previous games, like Black Ops 3. I still get a ton of Black Ops 3 series recommended to me on YouTube. Most of it is just like envy stuff and whatnot. But Hyped and Matt introduced me to game battles, and I was forced to play Search and Destroy. And I
This is still in Black Ops 4?
hated- This is still Black Ops 4. I still hated Search and Destroy, but they made me play it anyways. We did like a couple 3v3 matches. It wasn't a lot. It was like maybe like what 10, 15 matches, if even that. I got carried every single match. I didn't know what I was doing. They just told me to use this gun, watch this angle, and don't move, and that's what I did.
And he still
got-
does it to
That's
this
why you
day.
don't
He
move.
still does it to
Oh
this
my
day.
God.
You created this problem.
He is a statue.
It's my
I'm
fault.
I'm not that much of a statue.
Wait. You're telling me the issues with you never moving on the map stemmed from
All
Black
from
Ops
Matty
4
Ice.
when your teammates told you not to move and hold an angle?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, everything
really
makes
learned
sense
a lot
now.
here already.
I mean,
Wow.
please
Double grip
remember-
ICR. I get it.
Continue.
I get it.
No,
I
no,
no
no, no,
longer
no, no,
blame
they-
you
they
for
put-
your
they
movement,
put-
by the way. I now blame Hyped and Matty Ice.
They put me on the Maddox first, and I wasn't hitting any of my shots.
They
Like, I
put
was
you?
shooting-
Yeah, it makes
Yeah.
sense.
I was shooting circles. So then I switched to the ICR, and it went so
Double grip.
much better.
Double
For
grip
sure, I
ICR.
trust.
Like, I was shooting.
Bro,
Oh,
the
I
fact
still
that
have-
they
I
gave
still
you a
have
Maddox though
dreams.
and didn't give themselves that, it's
I
kinda
still
tough.
have dreams about a double grip ICR. That was the most fun
Oh,
gun
dude.
ever to use. Ever.
But then we went to MW19, and we all know how MW19 was. But starting for MW19, the CDL, when they were announcing all their franchise teams, I heard Atlanta was getting a team. Shut up, CK. I know what you're gonna say.
Yeah,
I heard
you heard
Atlanta was getting a
Atlanta
team,
was getting a
but
team. Yeah.
they didn't say what the org was or the players were at the time. So I was like, oh, Atlanta's getting a team. That's my team. Then they announced that FaZe acquired the spot and they had their rumored roster of players because nothing was set in stone yet. It was all rumors. And I sat down with Matt and Hyped, and I was like, "Hey, who are these players? Are they any good?" They're like, "Oh yeah, Simp and Abizi, they just won champs." And
They're kind of good. They're good in BO4.
All right.
yeah,
All right.
They're all
they're
right.
they're pretty good.
They're all right in
And then
BO4.
he explained who Priesta was, who Major Maniac was, who oh god, who was it? Celium, yeah.
Cellium.
How did I forget Celium? Who Celium was, and learned that Celium was like the phase prodigy kid, at the time. It still is. But
Shout out you cadets.
and I didn't play any comp in MW19 because I just did not enjoy the game at the time. Just you know, quickly learned it was a very bad game. And we went to Cold War, and at this time, I was still in college. I was entering my final year, college, my final spring semester, I should say. And we had a guy at the school who was starting up a CCL team. One of my friends DM'd me. He's like, "Hey, are you still looking for a COD team?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "I know this guy. He's trying to find a CCL team. You should message him." So I did. I grabbed the Matt along with me. I think we jumped into 4v4 scrim against like the guys from Alabama, and that went pretty bad. They put me on the sub.
Mm.
Oh
From the
no.
ICR to the sub.
Yeah,
Oh, no.
I didn't know what I was doing. I was just runing. I didn't
They were
know
just
how
setting
to
you up for
like.
failure.
Yeah, I didn't know
Yeah,
how to
that's crazy
rotate.
actually.
I didn't know how to get spawns, like basic setups, stuff like that. I remember
Under
the two maps we played was Crossroads and Garrison.
Not
Yeah,
Crossroads.
I got stomped on, and after a series, Matt's like, "Huh, those guys are gassing me up with my AK-74 U shot," and that started his like ego
Oh.
inflation from Cold War.
Look, they
Ooh,
were asking if I was using a GA barrel. Okay, that's all I'm saying. But,
No, they they
Maddie, I
were they
still
were
remember.
gassing you up,
yes, sir.
and I was like, man, kind of blundered that. Anyways, so it was me, Hyped, and Matt. We were looking for a fourth to play like Challengers Cups. So we grabbed our friend Guillaume. We call him G Willie, and he's our Canadian friend. And G Willie wasn't the best player. He played, he enjoyed playing. I wasn't the best player. I was still learning. And we hopped in Challengers Cups, got stomped, didn't win a single map in any Challengers game we played. Just got straight 100-point club, 6-0, 6-1. Uh, Matt and Hyped were trying to teach us on the fly, like how to play and what to do. And it was just not going well whatsoever. So that was kind of put on the back burner for a while. We were just grinding pubs like crazy because pubs in that game was actually kind of enjoyable at the time. Before all the cheese stuff started coming out, and we were, I was at least me was about to stop playing Cold War because it was getting boring playing pubs every day. And then Hyde came around. He's like, "Hey, I think I found this league. I don't know what it's about yet. It looks promising. I'll let you guys know more as I find out more." So like, okay. He's like, and then fast forward a couple days, he's like, "Hey, so there's this recreational league for Call of Duty. You don't have to be good. You could be shit, and they have a skill level for you." I was like, "Really?" And
Really.
I think Matt was reluctant at first because I think Matt thought it was a Twitter league, and Matt was against Twitter leagues at the time because I remember Hyde was trying to find us a Twitter league, and
Yeah, those stink.
yeah, Matt was so vocal against it because he never said like there was like a whole Discord, and like this was before the website too, so there was like just a whole Discord. Everything was organized, it was very organized. In fact, with spreadsheets and everything. Thank you, Shio, by the way. Spreadsheets. uh, but we joined it, and at the time we're like, "Oh man, this is recreational league. This isn't that serious." we'll go the gold. We'll do perfectly fine in gold. We did not do perfectly fine in gold.
And you ran into the buzzsaw that was Tim's.
We so we won our first ever map in the CRO. It was season 4, I think we joined, or 5 seasons in Cold War.
Yep.
Yeah, so it was season 4 we joined. Season 4 was our first season. Of course, we because we hopped in like week 2 or week 3 of season 3. We just watched all the matches there, and yeah. So season 4 started week 1. We were the Cleveland Misfires, the Cleveland Dynasty, best team. Our first match was Moscow Hardpoint, and we won. I think I still have screenshots of it on my Google Drive, and we were so confident, like, oh man, we won map 1 like that, man, this is gonna be so easy. Because at this point, I kind of had like a basic understanding of like rotating and spawns and whatnot. Got the S&D, curb stomped. Got the control, curb stomped. Got the map 4, 100-point clubbed.
Your
No.
worst
It
Fire
did
Truck
not
Lover.
go well. It did not go well. And then we went to week 2 and we 3-0 the other team. Easy. Speed ran them. No problem. We're like, you know what? We need some real challenge in scrims, because we were running through our scrim partners like crazy. Like, we were not dropping maps. So my my high ego needed to get humbled really quick. So I did something I probably shouldn't have done. DM'd Boozies for a scrim.
No.
Oh man.
Yeah, and we scrimmed them. I think the first hard point we got like it was like 40 or 50 points. Like, it was bad. And then we just got herb stomped the rest of the scrim. I think we had like one map that was like kind of close, but not really. I think it was like Moscow, because Moscow was our best map. And I remember, I think it was week 4. I want to say it was week 4 against Florida. We ran into the bane in my existence, Fire Truck Lover,
On stream, baby.
Oh my.
on stream too. We got speed ran, embarrassed on stream. It was bad. Like, oh, it was 100-point club. I want to see if I can find that VOD too, because
I'm keep talking. I'm looking for it.
like after that, I was like, dude, maybe I overshot this with the whole gold thing, because I am like, I'm going double negative, triple negative. Like, I am struggling. Meanwhile, on the mix side of things, we were fine. Like, Matt and I duoed that first season, and we had our 2 teammates, Swift and MacPot, and I don't think we dropped the series during the regular season. Am I right on that?
Maybe
Matt?
I'm one. I'm not sure.
Might have been 1, yeah. But then, started the curse of getting first rounded in playoffs. That's what happened. But yeah, that was kind of like our way into the rec league. Was about to quit Cold War. Then Hype was like, "Hey, there's a league. You should join." We did, and yeah, it was fun. And then season 5 was great, because we had a 3-way tie at the end of the season in mixed between me, Iceberg, and Hyped, because we were all in the same pool. So we had a 3-way tie at 5 and 2.
Who was in first?
That was my team.
No. First team first was Jumps.
Oh yeah, first place team was Gems.
Oh.
Timothy.
And because it was funny too, because our 3-way tie went the map win percentage, because Matt's team beat me, I beat Nate, or Hyped, and Hyped beat Matt.
No, we beat everybody.
Our
Cookie
series
Nat.
was close. It was a 3-0, but it was a really close series.
You know what? You know what wasn't close? Your series against Fire Truck Lover. Let's see, 250 to 44 map 1,
Whoa.
6-0,
Jeez.
6-0 map 2, and 3-0 map
Yo,
3. That's
Put
rough.
the stats away.
That's rough.
That's
Yeah.
disrespectful. Can we
That
see his
was,
individual stats?
Hold
Oh
on.
God.
And just
One
don't get
moment, please.
fined.
All right,
Don't
so we
appreciate
got hyped at 12 and 23. We got G-Man 8 and 22. Iceberg a solid 0.5, 13 and 26. The best KD on his team actually at 0.5. You got you got
No.
Dapper at 11 and 23.
Dapper, what happened?
Dude, I'll tell you what happened. That dude was on another level. Like on peak corners, and he know.
Are you implying
He would
Dude,
sus?
literally,
know.
Nah,
Fire,
I'm just
Fire
kidding.
Triple Over literally went 30 and 10.
I'm not implying sus. I'm implying that
I was
he
just
was
kidding,
way
bro.
better than me.
That's
Way
rough.
better than me. And oh man, like dude, it was insane. But after season 5 of Cold War, I remember at this point, like I was pretty active in the Discord at this time, and I remember it was right before New World came out. Um, Mello DM'd me. He's like, "Hey, no, was it Mello? Or was it you, Jim? I think it was Mello. Mello DM'd me. He's like, "Hey, do you have a minute?" And then I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Hey, we want you to become a mod for the CRL." I was like, "Okay."
So okay, so for the record, we were looking for more mods for the server, and you were active in like the Minecraft. It was the off season. You were like hosting the Minecraft server. You're really active in that regard, and everyone really seemed to get along with you, and including like the other admins, Mello, Corey, when they were talking to you. So we brought you on.
Yeah, and then we a few months later we all went to Texas, and it was like what my second COD event. That was fun for it was the kickoff classic for Vanguard. That was that was fun. You were there for that, Jims, right? Yeah, it was me,
Yes.
you, Chair, Matt, and Hyped. I believe. I don't think I'm
I mean,
missing anybody.
just so many butterfly effects. Dapper, just imagine if Hype had never found the Call of Duty directly, you wouldn't be sitting here on
That's
this
what I'm
podcast right
saying.
now. What would you?
You know, if Hyped never found the CRL,
I wouldn't have
obviously I
been
wouldn't be here.
interrogated.
Yeah, you.
A little bit of an inside joke there, but he literally sat me down and screamed at me for 10 minutes of what's going on. So,
Um,
anyways,
I mean, I probably would still be playing COD. I'm not sure.
Maybe
I
not as
mean,
much.
I love MMOs. MMOs are my spiel. Especially Diablo 4 right now. I grinded that game so hard over the weekend. I at least have like 40 hours in that game already. Like just from like the last like
yeah, I
3
hear
three
it's
4
good.
days.
I've heard good things.
Oh, it's a very good game. I just realized back in Cold War, I didn't have a PC at the time, so still have my Xbox case of Cold War, and then I had to I don't think. Yeah, no, I was on console until like the end of the first season of Vanguard, and that's when I made the switch to PC. Of course, like I had really bad internet at the time. Like my download speed was half a megabyte per second.
That's not good.
No, my upload speed was like 0.01 megabytes per second. Like it was bad. Like
I mean,
every time I
that's
would
not
go,
awful. I was kidding.
every time I would go into a game, I was at like 120 ping, like 10% packet loss. Like, it was bad. For my CRL matches, when I had my bad internet, I would pack up my Xbox and my monitor and everything, and I would head to my brother's house and play my matches over there. And I remember, like, I had my ritual before matches. You know, I'd set up. There was like a Chick-fil-A right down the street. I get myself a chicken sandwich, some nugs. You know,
Yeah.
yeah, it
I
was
mean,
great.
the 23-minute gameplay series is not what you like to see, Dapper. I won't lie.
Oh
That
It's
is
not
no,
good, bro. That's
that
so
is
short. Wait,
no.
total in-game time of 23 minutes.
wait, there's no way. Yo, shout out
Yep.
G-Man, though, for the control, like, going basically even. Matty Ice, we
Yeah.
ain't got to talk about it.
We
I
won't
know,
talk
hey,
about
Well,
I do.
G-Man's
look, it was a bad
SPP
map.
score.
Okay.
We won't
Matty
talk
Ice,
about
you would
G-Man's
be,
SPP score.
you would
Oh,
be.
shout
Wait.
out K Quick right there for the resubscribe. Current teammate.
No, wow. Wow,
Current
that guy
teammate.
is still
Hey,
going.
Quick's been around forever too.
What a
He's been
legend,
around
bro.
for a minute.
I
What a
think I
legend.
think I'm like in my 5th or 6th straight season teammate K Quick. Hey, quick, dude's a good. He's a good dude.
Look,
He's a really.
you're only technically team of this season. You're not playing.
Hey, I'm on the roster.
You're on the roster.
Jeez, that's toxic, Matty Ice.
All right, who wants to go next?
Yeah, that's a good question. Who does want to go next?
CK, James.
I'll go.
CNK will go. Let's hear it. I'm interested because
mean,
I feel like
are we
you're the person that I
talking
know the least about, like
getting into comp or getting into gaming though? What are we talking?
gaming/comp.
All right. Well, I guess we'll talk about like the first thing I ever did was I started as a PC gamer. Well, technically, we had like a PS1, but I never really was able to play it because my brother was always playing it. But then I got into like PC gaming, which was like my first ever like games were like browser games, like like addicted games, like stuff like that, like when that kind of stuff existed. But then also RuneScape. Uh, like when RuneScape 2 would have been like a year or so after it came out, like 2006 or so, because it came out in 2005, right, James? RuneScape 2?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it would have been like 2006 is when I started playing. I had no idea how to play, obviously, at all. But I just kill cows until I get to like level 50 attack. It's cool stuff. It's fun. But and then my first ever like real FPS game was Battlefield 2 on PC because my brother bought it, and then we both just played. Oh man, we played it like an insane amount. And then Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare came out, and we got that on PC because we didn't have like anything to play it on. But then when MW2 came out, we stepped it up. We got ourselves a PS3, and then not long after that, we got an Xbox
Great.
360 as well. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
I'm saying we were
Mhm.
rocking and rolling with the boys. So that was like my first experience playing like actual FPS games was those. But then getting into comp was definitely like it would have been around BO2. I'm pretty sure it was BO2. And I very very quickly low key became an Optic fan. I don't know, man. What am I gonna say, bro? I'm a sucker for content. I'm a sucker for content. But yeah, it was a good time. Very good time. Playing wise, I don't know. I played a lot like in like Black Ops 2 and so like that, like ranked and stuff with like friends. And that's when I probably like really got into comp because I was like, oh, this is like fun. Like this is a lot of fun. Playing ranked and stuff with the boys. Did like GBs and stuff. Would have been a lot later than that in like Jetpack era, which would have been like BO3 and stuff like that for sure. But hey, it was a good time playing through the Jetpack era. I tell you what, with the boys, watching Optic actually be good. Watching your favorite team be the best team is quite the vibe. I'm not gonna lie. Like every event, in and out, like it didn't matter. We were the boys. We were
They're
rolling
the
deep.
favorite. It was
Hey,
great.
every time it was fantastic. Champs rolls around, top 8, cool. Um, every other tournament though, we're expected to win. Champs, on the other hand, good luck. You know, it is what it is. But I don't know. And then it's always been fun. Like Comp COD has always been like so much fun to watch and like play and stuff. Like never taking it like super insanely seriously, but like just like for the enjoyment of it. It's always been really, really, really good. And then like CDL era starting was not gonna lie, a little rough. Um because like MW is the game that I have watched and played of all the Call of Duties by so like to the smallest margin, it's like insane. Like I barely watched any comp cod that season outside of like champs and like the first tournament. And then I didn't play like I played like the first week of the game, realized I hated the game like insanely, and then I went and played like Minecraft with the boys. Like I was like, I'm over it. This ain't happening. And then I don't know. All the other games since then have been pretty good. Like Vanguard and Cold War, like I generally like enjoyed those games a lot. Like Cold War is when I discovered the CRL though, because I was just playing because Cold War Ranked came out, right? And then I started playing Call of Duty like a lot for that, just like with a bunch of random people. Met someone who was playing like we were like master and ranked together, and he was like he was in the CRL playing in like silver or bronze or something like that. Shout out master rank in Cold War from meaning nothing. Um
Still
but it's true.
sandbag. It's over.
It's true. It's true.
That's
But
amazing.
whoa, bro, whoa. But and then he was
Sandbagger.
like, "Yo, you should come play in the CRL thing." And I was like, "What's that? No, not doing it. That sounds stupid as hell. Like I'm not doing that." And then I joined the Discord and I was like checking it out. They were like in the middle of season 4 of Cold War, I believe, and they were doing like caster tryouts or whatever. And then that's how I like got in. For some reason, right away, he convinced me to do the casting side of things. No idea why. Did that. I think I casted like 2 matches in season 4 somehow, and then we made a team for season 5, joined silver, won because your boy be like that. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But and then never played again.
You
So
went out on top, didn't you?
yeah, God did you gotta do. No, I played like 1 week of Vanguard, and then the team fell apart. Shambles, dude. Shambles. Absolute shambles. So
I mean, that's
May or may
interesting
not
how
have had a
like
cheater on your team that got
whoa,
banned.
dude, he wasn't even on our team anymore. We dropped him before the game even came out.
Oh
I
my
don't want to hear
goodness.
this propaganda.
Ooh. Ooh.
CNK facilitated a cheater.
I did not.
It's a fact.
Maybe a little bit. Maybe the cheater may have been the person who told me to join the CRL in the first place. So
Oh,
shout out the
that
cheater.
person.
Shout out.
If you
Met him in
know,
ranked play.
if you know,
Was
you know.
horrible. Was
Oh,
horrible at the
man.
time. For the record, he was absolute trash. Trash money, dude.
fresh money
Oh
is
man.
crazy.
He was horrible. We were playing 8s ranked, you name it, and everyone would just carry him through. And then like out of nowhere, he kind of like got good. It wasn't like great. Like he went from being a little bit worse than us to a little bit better than us. So I didn't think anything of it. Turns out he may have my win may be a little bit tainted. We ain't gotta talk about that though. We ain't gotta talk
It
about
is interesting how like you kind of got in being a caster before you like started playing in a way.
Yeah, I don't know how that happened. I don't get it.
You,
'Cause he
it's
basically like
your love of the content.
he like told me to do it and I just did it. I signed up. I did it. It's definitely not something I would normally do at all. Like not even close. Like at all. And then the caster audition, I still have that in the back pocket to this day. Yeah, ain't ever pulling that one up. That was bad. That was bad. Shout out Zenny, AK Zentrix at the time for being in that and me saying his name like 15 times in a row. Yep.
The thing about pull that up.
Yeah. No, you'll never find it. You'll never find it. I have it
I
saved,
bet I
but
can
y'all will
find
never find it.
My
I'm
caster
There's
audition
no
was
way you
gonna
have
go
it
find it.
saved.
I'm gonna go find it.
You're not finding it. Dude, don't find it. Please don't find it. Like for the love of God, keep it buried. But so yeah, now we're here. And then I guess I could talk about how I got on the mod team. Like I was casting like a ton in I want to say it was like season 5. And then I was like in the like down like in like the production like channel or whatever, the Codcaster channel. And like someone, I can't remember who was talking to me. It was either Mello or like Corey. And they were like, yo, you want to be a mod? And I was like, eh. And then I got a message from someone like a day later.
Yeah,
And
it
I
would
was
have
like,
been
okay.
me. That
From
would have been me.
Jim's. And I was like, sure. I was like, okay. And so now I'm the mod that does the least. You're welcome.
No, you're not. You do stuff.
No.
I'm gonna gotta be that guy.
Sometimes. I'm joking.
Literally, my first DM to you ever was, "Hey, dude, can I get in and call with you for a sec whenever you have time?"
And was that about being a mod?
Yep,
Yeah,
it was.
would've
That
been.
would have been the first time I ever
Wow.
talked to him.
Is that what you sent me to? Like the exact same message?
Yeah,
I'm
probably.
sure he sent the same thing to everybody, bro.
Probably.
Oh, man. Shout out for like, I'm pretty sure the only person that was like on the actual mod team when we all joined was Snoop.
It was
Like,
Snoop and Zenny. It was Snoop and
Yeah.
Zenny.
it's Zenny.
And that was it.
Dude, Snoop was the goat though.
He was
Oh,
that guy, that mod. Well, that was a fun little story, CNK.
Snoop
I
was
tried to
Snoop
rush
was the
through it
only
the
one
fastest I
surviving.
could, bro. Not gonna lie.
Snoop was the
see,
only one that stuck around through all of Cold War.
What a guy.
Shout out
Snoop is a
Snoop.
trooper. Snoop the troop.
I remember when I
Super trooper.
joined, I like asked him a question one time in a call, and like he should have ignored me completely. And I'm pretty sure to this day he wasn't even there, bro. To this day, I'm 1000% positive the guy wasn't in the call. He was like, well, he was in the call, but not at his computer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Man.
Wow. Well, I guess we can move on to the next person. I guess I will go next. We'll save Jim's for last because he is the
His
main
story's gonna be
CRL
iconic.
man. Yeah. I'm interested in Jim's. But me personally, to start from like how I started gaming. I mean, I started gaming really young. Like I got a GameCube and I was playing like Mario Kart Double Dash and Pokemon Coliseum. And I love Pokemon. I played Pokemon forever. But I was never allowed to play like the games that are like graphic and stuff, i.e., like Call of Duty, just games that are rated M for mature. Like I was barred. until I was like 12 or something, which is fair. But that's just how the lay of the land worked. I played like baseball and stuff. You know, that's where like my competitive mind came from, I would say. I was a big baseball guy, basketball fan. Um, but then like, you know, I turned however old I was. I started playing COD in MW2. Like that's when I started playing, or not MW2, MW3. I never played MW2. I was like 11 when MW3 was out, and I would just play it with my cousin. And I was horrible, obviously, because I'd never played a FPS in my life. I was just absolutely atrocious on the map, and I would just vibe out, play the game, have a great time on hard hat or whatever. But then like Black Ops 2, I started playing a lot more Call of Duty. I like Call of Duty a lot, and you know, Black Ops 2 is my game. But you know, I didn't know anything about like competitive at all. My introduction to competitive truly was Syndicate's Hunting Optic series on Minecraft.
What?
Oh,
It's actually
I
epic.
didn't watch Minecraft
Pretty
like
good.
that. But I was like, Optic, like what the hell is Optic? And Syndicate's like, oh well, they play Call of Duty, and I was like, okay, like let's see what's going on here. And they're like, I'm like, oh, they play competitive Call of Duty, like they be playing this, like they play ranked play, but they like go hard. And I was never a ranked play kid. I was kind of in the same boat as Dapper, where I was like, oh, search and destroy is dumb. Like I want to respawn. Like I want to get back in the game. I don't want to sit here and do nothing. I thought Hardpoint was stupid. I actually played like. Do you guys remember there was like two versions of like Black Ops 2 ranked play? There was like the ranked play, and then the other version.
Mosh
Do
pit,
you guys know what I'm
right?
talking about?
Like mosh pit or something, right? It
It,
was
it was something like that, but it
6v6.
was also in the league play like tab. It was like the league play TDM, and I played
uh
that more than I played actual league play. But anyways, that just goes to show, you know what I mean. But then like I discovered Optic. I was like, wow, these guys are cool. They play GBs, and me and my buddy Maddie, we started playing GBs, and we were grinding GBs, starting in Ghosts, and we were absolutely horrific. Like our first GB we played was in like November of Ghosts, so we played like GBs all throughout Ghosts. And if you look at my GB account right now, my record in Ghosts is 70 and like 220. No bullshit. Or sorry, Jim. But that was my record in like Ghosts. And so that just goes to show like how bad I was. And then you know, as time goes on, obviously you get better. We're also West Coast kids, so we're host slamming people. Like once you actually get good and you get like a
Love
good
that.
record, we can just like host slam people over and over again.
Oh,
Um,
sorry, let me interject real quick. And back in the day during Ghost West Coast, you wanted to be worse because you got two hosts, so you get slammed on map 1 and then go smoke them for maps 2 and 3
bro, I
on your West
remember
Coast.
like I may be wrong.
Back in
I
Ghost at
remember in
least.
GB like you got two hosts if you were better. But maybe I'm
Yeah,
wrong.
during Ghost you didn't. During Ghost you didn't.
Okay.
Dude, shout
Then
out
maybe
Ghost
Maybe
for
that's
just
who we're still
being
bad.
nifty,
sorry.
bro.
Just had to clarify there.
No, you're good. But we were really bad at Ghosts. Also, it doesn't help because on Xbox 360, like the ping is worse for West Coast kids. So once we got an Xbox One, like both of us, we got Xbox Ones, me and Maddie, and and we started playing like 2v2s on AW, and that's where we actually started like being good at the game. Like our cracked like you know 14, 15-year-old brains like were really good at moving quick on the map and just getting kills. So we were good at search and destroy. I think we started playing UMG, so I can't even find records for back then, which makes me so sad. Um, and I also trick shotted. Like I was a trick shotter and a sniper. Like I wasn't even like fully into like competitive, but we were good at AW. We started winning like Twitter tournaments and stuff. I remember like when uh when I would win a Twitter tournament, I would put like the trophy emoji in my bio. I'd be like 8 times gold trophy emoji. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how it was back in the day. Even though I wasn't winning anything worth anything. But then Black Ops 3 was more the same. We kept getting better, and we were actually very good at Black Ops 3, but I still never played for any cash. I just grinded GBs, played pubs, whatever. And then I took a little break. IW year was like my junior year of high school. So like I focused more on like high school and like, you know, extracurriculars. Like I was a big like theater kid. I would do like sound and lights and stuff. and so I didn't really have time for Call of Duty. I also didn't really care. So I actually missed, like, I was an Optic fan like my whole life, and I missed the Optic Dynasty like being fantastic. Like I didn't really watch in Black Ops 3. Like I really didn't. I
Unfortunate.
just played. Very unfortunate for me. But I took a break, and then I skipped IW. I skipped World War II, and then I started playing a little bit again in Black Ops 4, but I didn't really like. I just played rank play. I was pretty good though, and yeah, I played Black Ops 4. Whatever. I have a screenshot of me dropping a gunship on Formal. That's my claim to fame. Um, and then MW comes out, and I'm still not really playing the game that much. I didn't really like MW as most people normally did, but I did peruse like the Call of Duty competitive subreddit. That's kind of how I kept up with Call of Duty. Is I wouldn't watch, I wouldn't go on Twitter. I would just check the subreddit. And one day this little post popped up. It's like, hey, we're trying to form a league with recreational teams where everybody has a good time. It's a beer league. And I'm like, hey, this sounds like my cup of tea, especially because I didn't really know anybody who like still played COD like that. So I could sign up for mixed. I got on a team, and yeah, the rest is history. I became a caster. I think I had to get a PC before I could become a caster because I never really had a computer. I got a computer in Cold War, started casting, and then I signed up to be a moderator. And then Jim's was like, "Yeah, we're pretty down for you to be a moderator, but you literally don't type in the Discord like ever, so that's kind of a worry." And I was like, "Yeah, it's okay." And then now here we are. So that's my story. I feel like it was a eventful one. We had a good time.
Now I'm gonna go to the top of our DMs to see how it happened.
Oh man.
I remember it because you were like, yeah, we think you're like a good fit. You cast, obviously, you're a good member of the community, but you don't ever like type in the Discord. And I was like, you know what, that's kind of fair because I still do that today. Like I do not type in the Discord very often, but I am a figurehead. You know what I mean? Like I be casting and streaming and stuff. I'm just not a big typing guy.
Yeah, I have a
I could
bunch of little
imagine.
gift links from you.
Oh, I bet we do. We got a good couple for sure.
Jake, I used to be the exact same way. I wouldn't type in anything. Then I don't know what happened. Um, Something happened. Now I type all the time.
I mean, I just don't go in like Gen Chat like that. Like I be reading Gen Chat sometimes, but there's just so many messages in Gen Chat. It's so hard to keep up because there's just so many people in the Discord.
The
Um,
only time you'll see me in a chat is when someone's causing like a ruckus or just like asking questions
oh, we
or
love
something.
ruckus causers.
Oh man, dude. Like I don't care if people call me names. I'll take the blunt of all the name calling, just so anyone else does not have to. Like if I go through my DMs to show you guys, here's some mean messages, man. There's some mean stuff.
Yeah, if you ever want to call me a name, call Dapper that name instead because he can
Yeah.
handle it.
Hey,
I've been called every name in the book at this point.
I
Doesn't
worked
phase me.
retail for 6 years. I could take it.
Bro. Every
I
single
I had
DM I have with like anybody in the league, it's always so nice. It
I've
literally is
had
always so nice, bro.
I've had people go into my Twitch VODs, grab a picture of me, and draw over it with like devil horns and send it to me.
What?
That's just
That's so crazy. The effort, bro. What did you
Yeah,
do to them?
that's
dude,
giving like
I
middle
don't know.
schooler.
No, I remember exactly what the situation was. I will only save Jim's says I can. It happened like way back in Vanguard.
Well, I don't know. I don't remember the situation,
DM
so
it
I
to
don't know if
Jim's
it's
quick,
appropriate.
Dapper.
I
DM it
remember
to
it.
Jim's.
It's not a bad situation. It just deal.
Then
It
just
just
say
What's the
it.
big
Then
deal?
just say it. If it's
So
Don't say
appropriate
names.
for podcast, just say it.
yeah. So a silver team went into general chat, thinking they were like the hot stuff at the time.
Oh,
Diamond team wanted to prove them wrong. They used pistols on hardpoint Bokic
Oh,
and proved them wrong, and they were bad. They were very, very, very bad. And I basically
shout
shut
out
them
Diamond
down,
though.
Wait,
and then all four of them went into my DMs.
I know what you're talking about.
You know exactly what I'm talking about. I think you were in the game.
I was in the game.
Yep.
Jake, what's wrong with you, bro? These people have families.
I don't know. I just got called up. Somebody
No.
DM me. They're like, "Hey, we're playing this gold team. They think that they're gross," and I was like, "Okay." And I did not take part in any of the shenanigans on the other side. I just loaded into Bow Cage. I played, and then That was it. I
It
never.
was
Smoking.
a very eventful night. But it's
There
like
were some shenanigans for sure.
it's like two polar opposites. People either love me and appreciate the help, or they hate me. There's no middle ground at all. It's either one end or the other.
No, whenever you tell someone something they don't want to hear, it's never good.
No.
Whether it is in the rules that they agreed to or not, just never good. Never a good conversation to have.
But I don't mind. I mean, if they're wrong, I'm right.
Yeah.
That's all that matters.
You are the rule encyclopedia, and you will take heat for doing that. For
Yes.
just telling people the things that they don't want to go read.
Just go read the handbook, guys. Just please.
The
Wait, you know
handbook
how to
is
read?
huge.
Please read the handbook. It will help you out so much.
Dude, nobody's gonna read the handbook. Why are you even joking, bro? Oh man. Dude, people will read the first paragraph and just be like, "Yeah, I tried," and just dip.
Was that it for your story, Jake?
I think that's it for my story.
Good
Short
story.
one. Kind of ran through it real quick. Jim's, I want to hear your story because
Big
so-
man.
I also don't know
himself.
about Jim's story.
Ladies and gentlemen, the man. Imagine.
Oh my gosh. So I think I'm I'm the oldest. I'm the oldest amongst us. I think not by much. So I didn't hear any of you guys say
Hey,
N64.
old man.
No,
I didn't
never
hear
played
any of you guys say
N64.
Nintendo 64. So my first console was an N64, but that's when I was like 3-4 years old, and I wasn't old enough to remember much of it. But it did have games like Talk to Me Pikachu that like barely worked. It stunk. It stunk, but it was fun to try and figure out. The first like game I really got into is like Jake Mario Kart Mario Kart Double Dash on GameCube.
That game is
I was running
fire.
pockets. I was running pockets in my neighborhood in that game. No one will beat me in Double Dash. I'm convinced. I'm convinced that no one can beat me in that game. And then actually same thing with you, Jake. Like my parents would let me play the violent games, I guess. So like pretty much James Bond, like 007 Nightfire was the peak of what I could play at the time, which was an M. It was rated M, but it was pretty mild in terms of like what it actually showed. So those were my two starts in the gaming and like I guess being competitive in general, because we would just go. I would just like get 3 kids from the neighborhood. We go all cup tour on Double Dash, and I would just beat them every single game. It was great. It was awesome. I said, yeah, we can change it off mirror mode once you guys beat me. They would never beat me. I want to say sometime around 4th, 5th grade was introduced to RuneScape. It's a game that I'm still playing to this day. Playing it at this very moment, I should say. And I don't think I'll ever put down RuneScape for as long as it's around.
You can't. It's a
It's
cult. I mean,
just
what?
you can't. You try to
Bro,
quit
we're
it, you
stuck.
just can't.
We're stuck.
You just can't.
Every time you leave for like even like 3, 4, 5, 6 months, you come back every time.
Absolutely. Every single time, without fail. Like you'll find a new way to enjoy the game again.
Yeah.
More
than the last.
So I mean I've been playing RuneScape since I was 7, 8, 9 years old. I think I was 8 years old when I made my first account. So it's been almost 20 years at this point. And it was through some of my RuneScape friends around, I think it was 7th grade, when they convinced me to get an Xbox 360 and get MW2, because they had already had a console. They were already playing Call of Duty for the longest time. So like a week out from Christmas, I asked my parents for an Xbox, and they were able to get me one. And just started playing MW2, just started like pub stomping, TDM, domination, whatever it might be. I was in a multitude of sniping clans that, obviously didn't have any sort of name behind them, just sniping clans in general. But I never liked sniping. Like I would be the guy that runs around and gets the kill so that all of them can go like stun the guy to death and try to trick shot on him. So I never really enjoyed it. But my introduction to competitive Call of Duty came in Black Ops 1 during when Fearcrads made a series on YouTube about, and he subbed in for Team Fear during some scrims at the time. And it was like, I remember it was Domination on Havana was the first game that I had watched. And that didn't necessarily get me hooked, but it at least made me aware of the other side of of Call of Duty, and that's when like I tried to get some of my friends to play game battles and stuff. None of them were interested, so I never started. MW3, I was busy with baseball during that year, so I really didn't get a chance to play it. And going into Black Ops 2, that's when rank play dropped, and that's when I really found my love for competitive Call of Duty. And through competitive Call of Duty, found some guys to play game battles with. And I remember like the first game battles team I was ever on was with my first duo. His name was TK Outplay. I haven't talked to that guy pretty much since Black Ops 2. Still remember the name though. And we didn't play like the normal game battles variant rule set. We played the public match S. We posted public match S&D rule set game battles. And in those GBs, like at least we had been playing rank play. We were both like master in rank play and been grinding that. So we had an inkling of an idea of what we were doing. That other people that posted and accept these matches had no idea what they're doing. So we started off like 15-0 or something. We were really happy with ourselves. And then we figured out we were posting for the wrong stuff. And then we started playing the actual people that knew what they were doing, and yeah, that didn't go very well. Going into Ghost though, that's when things really picked up. I met a lot of my homies. If you guys know them, they've been in the CRO for a while. Bentley or New York Sewer, Sorm, TJV. Those guys are my boys. I've known them since Black Ops 2. We met during rank play in Black Ops 2, and they're still some of my best friends to this day. I just like randomly joined their lobby one day, and they were playing Jeeves, and I'm like, finally, I can like, start grinding with the team. And sure enough, we started grinding. I think I have like 300 matches played in Ghost or so. We went just about even. Something around that. I'm not quite sure. We did all right. It was mainly all for fun. We didn't care. Ghost was also the only game that I have any earnings for Call of Duty. We played a free entry Twitter tourney and won $5 split between me and Sorum. So $2.50 a piece. Those are the only dollars I've ever earned playing Call of Duty. And it was my first like true year competing. Advanced Warfare, I stunk at Advanced Warfare. We went to new gen consoles. I hated the Xbox One controller. I also didn't get a chance to play the game for the first like 2 months. I was living out of state, doing something else. So yeah, so I got a late start to the game, and I had to get used to a new console, and it just never clicked for me. I was so bad at Advanced Warfare, and it sucked because all of my friends were playing it. They're all so much better than me, but none of them wanted to play with me because I was so stinking bad.
No.
I
I
feel
was
that.
so bad. So then I came back into Black Ops 3 with a vengeance. Like I wanted to be the best player amongst all of my friends, and I was, because none of them played Black Ops 3. All of them ended
Oh.
up getting
Oh,
busy.
no.
So I couldn't even show how good I have gotten. I remember like the handful of 2v2s that we would play, and I'd just go like 13-1, and they wouldn't even get any kills. I just carry them the entire time. But so and then IW was another game where like it was the first time since Ghost where like everybody got on and started playing a lot again. And we unfortunately I can't go look at those records because like you, Jake, we played on UMG, but we had a top 25 team on UMG. We were like 140-10 or something. We were pretty in terms of like online S&D ladders. We were pretty good. I think IW was the best jetpack COD. I think it was the most competitive of the jetpack CODs personally.
That's a hot take.
I know that's a hot take, but it's also the game out. It's also the jetpack COD I was probably the best at and just had the most fun playing. World War II was I really enjoyed World War II. We played a lot of Jeeps on it, but that was the year that the CWL brought it to Seattle. That's where all of my friends are. So that was the first event that I actually ended up going to compete at, and we stunk. We weren't expecting to do anything special, but we scrimmed, we try hard, and we did go to CWL Seattle. Got rounded, of course, but a ton of fun, of course. Went straight into Anaheim. What was it, like a month and a half later? we all had like finals and graduations to go to. So I don't think we scrimmed. We scrimmed the day before we all left for Anaheim. We scrimmed for the first time since we had left CWO Seattle. So we went to went to Seattle, Anaheim, went to Black Ops 4, went to CWO Vegas for Black Ops 4. That was with Senor, Lel, and then Senor, Lel, TJV, and then my boy Young Willie. I miss Young Willie.
Really?
That Young
What a
Willie was
name.
awesome.
That even came out of left field.
Straight out of like Huntington Beach, California, just surfer kid. He
Love
was
that.
so much fun to play. He never showed up on time, but he was so much fun to play with. We go to Vegas, we get rounded, we lose to Priesta's girlfriend to get eliminated.
No.
Yep. We so that was the first event of the season. So like there were a whole ton of GAs that no one really knew what they were. No one really wanted to talk about them. So we didn't even talk about any GAs before going into the match with them, and they were using the fire break reactor core guy and the barbed wires and the
That's
shields.
crazy.
It was bad. It was bad. We in hindsight, we should have asked them if they wanted to get rid of all that stuff, but we didn't. We didn't talk to them about it. So whatever. And then we go into the next event was Fort Worth, and that was the event that I put the most amount of time into for sure. We scrimmed so much. We had a bunch of, it was me, Senor. We picked up Young Willie again, and then two guys, Aeon and Wood. I love all those guys. It was such a fun event, but it was tough, like trying to wrangle. Like they're all a bunch of 18-year-olds, and me and Edgar are like 24, just trying to wrangle them up and get practices and scrimmages going, and that was tough. But they're nasty. We did all right. We won our first winners round. We played Team Sween in winners round 2 on the amateur main stage and got absolutely bodied. I will say we went up 40-10 after Hill won. Wood got a lightning strike, and we lost 250-52. So it didn't go very well after Hill won, but we gave it our all, and then we dropped the losers bracket, choked a 100-point hard point lead, and lost the S&D 6-0, and then we were out. But I do have a win on LAN. I do have a series win on LAN, so I will take that.
I mean, for anybody that's wondering, Team Sween at the time was Quicker, Weeman, Nolson, Alex, and Cammy. So, I mean, you're facing literal CDL talent, current CDL talent,
That's a
and
good
Cammy, and
squad.
obviously
Yeah.
Alex, Nolson, and Weeman still play. So, I mean, that's a tough matchup.
There were rumors, so one of them was having travel issues too. So we thought we were going to be playing them 4v5 and we were going to have a chance. And then we show up and it's all 5 of them. We were kind of sad. We're like, all right, well, that was, we tried.
You did try.
But
Rip.
after Fort Worth was when I just I kind of quit competitive Call of Duty cold turkey. I was tired of wrangling up the young kids, the 18-year-olds, and just trying to get scrims going. And I realized I wasn't enjoying the game, and it just quitting competitive Call of Duty cold turkey, as much as I was playing it, that was the next few months were some of the best that I had in a really, really long time. I'm not gonna lie. Just not putting that much effort into something that's not giving anything back to you was really, really just freeing and nice. And I advise anybody, honestly, who is taking Call of Duty super, super seriously and you're pissed off at the game every single day, you're not enjoying yourself, get off the game. It's not that's the reason the CRL exists, is so you can play in a league where you don't need to scrim, you don't need to get mad. Right?
Dude.
So that's one thing I try to tell people, dude, if it's not getting you anywhere and you're going to sit down, you're getting mad at the game all the time, just stop playing. Just try to find a balance with it. But first step is don't, stop playing. It's healthy to go outside. Right.
I mean, it's giving
So
like quit gaming 8 months ago, bought a new car, have an amazing
yeah,
girlfriend,
I mean
make a lot of
that's
money, and
what
I'm buying a house.
I mean
This guy
that's what it
quit
felt
COD.
like.
This
And
guy
that's what
quit
it felt
COD and
like.
bought a
I
house. Bro.
literally quit. I literally quit playing Call of Duty and I got a new position and I got a new job at a better company and like things were going like way better for me just a few months later because I wasn't getting off of work and playing Call of Duty for 6 hours for zero gain, right? We're just scrimming for nothing.
Man, maybe stop playing COD is like the key to success. I stopped
dude.
playing COD, and then a new position opens up that I'm really interested in. I take it, and it comes with a pay raise. Like maybe quitting COD is just or not quitting COD entirely. Just like stop taking it.
Slowing
Like,
down.
yeah, slowing
Everyone,
down.
everyone I know that used to play Comp COD, like I swear, like they would quit and like within a year they would actually like have like life-changing things happen to them because like specifically the ones that actually like turned that COD passion into like actual like IRL passion for either
Mhm.
work or whatever they're doing, they always turned it into some crazy stuff, man. Every
Yeah,
single
and
time.
I'm not saying you need to quit competitive Call of Duty, but
Yes,
if you're
you
gonna
do.
if you're going to sit down and get if you're gonna sit down and get pissed off at the game every single night and you're not like making money on it or it's not like I guess improving you as a person, then you need to figure it out. You need to stop.
Hey man, if you think you're gonna be like a T32 challenger player or T16 and you're not even in gold in the CRL, we got a problem.
Oh, we
I'm
do.
just saying, we got a problem. And that problem is Dapper gatekeeping. Look
What?
at this dude.
So
Oh, you're on the bench.
let's see. So anyway, we roll into MW19. I'm pretty sure I'm just playing like Minecraft and RuneScape for the most part. Pandemic hits early 2019.
Ooh,
It's
gamers
like
heaven.
Gamer 7 for real.
Mm-hmm.
Still
Forgot about
wasn't
that
playing
part.
MW19. I was really just playing like I was playing RuneScape and I was playing Minecraft with my friends. Like this is and then see it was September 10th, 2019, September 10th, 2020, Senor DM'd me the Reddit link for the guy. The guy was asking like, are there any, I guess, mature Call of Duty leagues out there for people like older than 30? And no, there weren't. But Mello took it upon himself to invite or to make a server and invite everybody from that thread into the server, and that was literally the birth of the Call of Duty Rec League. Me and Senor were in there on day one, and we were just part of like the organizing group that tried to make things run smoothly in the very beginning. It was just pickup games. It wasn't like any sort of organized league, and we were just in the spreadsheets making teams and getting the scores done, and we just we were just there. We were just there from day one, and even as the league grew and the responsibilities grew, we asked more and more of the moderators at the time to do more and more to volunteer their time, and it was a little bit too much for them. So as they started kind of fading away and out of the league, me and Senor kind of stuck around, and eventually Senor left too, and then it was just me as far as like moderators go. So when it was early 2022, Corey kind of had just a little bit too much on his plate at the time, and he just needed someone to hand the league off to. So me and Shio ended up accepting, and now we're the owners of the league. And Corey's still around. He's still in the background, just not involved as he once was.
I mean, that guy gets around at COD events, though. That guy knows everybody at COD events. Dude,
Dude,
Yeah,
he
yeah,
knows
yeah.
when we were in
everybody.
Boston, and that
one
guy
big-
was like, "Bro, I was just drinking with Miles," and I'm like, "Dude, what?
Yeah.
What's going on here?"
Or didn't he say something like drinking of like one of the pros' dad or something like that?
Yeah, yeah.
And
Something
having
like
a
that.
grand time, but there was
Could've
like
been anybody.
It was
methods.
Method's dad, wasn't it?
Yeah, like just having a grand time. He's like, yeah,
Yeah.
dude, I was just talking to him for like half an hour. Like,
Mhm.
what?
Bro, guy's hilarious.
Like, I remember it was the funniest thing ever. He's like, yeah, I'll be right back. I went to the bathroom real quick. Comes back like an hour later. He's like, yeah, dude, there's just like a bunch of people up there. I'm talking to them. They're just like really nice
Dude,
people.
can we
I'm
just
like,
be honest though?
what?
Like real talk, that guy's charisma is always a nat 20
Dude,
every time.
He's got
100%.
Riz.
Like he
Yeah.
That
got-
man could talk his way into any situation.
Yeah, but I started in the CRL as, just someone on day one that was helping organize everything, and I was playing as well. I played in the inaugural season in MW19. Took third place the same season that Jake took second.
That was me.
Yep, I had me, Resent, Millie, Ballin, and Eaton. Shout out Eaton. Missed that guy.
Shout out
And
Optic
Eaton.
Eaton, man.
yeah, and that again, super fun team. It got me hooked on the league immediately. Went into Cold War. I teamed with Eaton and got two other players. It was Crazy Care Bear and Gish for season 1 of Cold War. We ended up winning that season for silver mixed and kind of never looked back. Like, I mean, that's the only chump I've ever won, but I'm happy I got it when it was easy. Yeah, and since then I haven't really taken competing in it super seriously. I've just been on more the administration side of running the league. But it's been challenging, but also very fun. Of course, there's a lot of memories that we built throughout the years, but there's also a lot of frustrations that you get every single day from people that just don't understand the rules or don't care to try and understand the rules. Don't read.
People think we're like robots or something. We're supposed to solve every problem just like on a whim,
Mhm.
and it's
Yeah.
always supposed to go their way.
Yeah,
It's not how it is.
The most unfortunate situation is when the rules clearly dictate it's not going to go their way, but they get mad at us thinking we're biased and playing favoritism.
They're like,
nah,
oh,
man,
well, it's
nah.
different than like the rules say. Not
Yeah.
the same thing. Different situation.
yeah. That's my I guess gaming career in a nutshell. I'm fairly vanilla when it comes to the type of games that I play. I've really only ever played RuneScape, Minecraft, and Call of Duty. So and
Double Dash.
aside from like Mario Kart Double Dash and 007 Nightfire as a kid, like that's pretty much it. I don't really dabble in
You have a
the much else.
Trackmania addiction,
I do have a
Mm.
Trackmania addiction. Yes, Trackmania is a lot of fun too.
and you can't get anyone to play it with you.
No, I can't. That is the one game. That is the one game I'm very surprised that no one else has tried to pick up alongside me.
Bro, I can't believe.
I'm actually
People love
I
Trackmania.
it's just like it's just a fun racing game. Like if you've ever played a racing game, I don't know why you wouldn't come and try it.
I love Trackmania, but it's a very EU game. Like it's
Very.
EU centric.
It is actually the largest player base is now the US
Really.
for that game.
Wow.
Yeah, but all the good players are still in the EU, bro.
Yeah, all the really good players are in the EU though.
That's like everything racing, though.
So
Racing is like their world.
Yeah.
Ours is football. Real football.
Shout out football.
Shout out
yeah.
football.
Yeah.
Well, we had a nice chat, boys. We got through everybody. We've been here for an hour and 15 minutes about.
What about Matty
Um,
Ice?
Matty Ice, you want to give us a little rundown?
We can do it another time.
Oh, we're saving it for a different
We've
day.
been going an hour and 12 minutes.
Ooh, what do we next? Hey, tune in next week for Matty Ice's breakdown on how he got into
It might be
competitive
next
COD.
week and maybe 10 podcasts from now. You never
Imagine.
know. It's going to be a surprise.
He's just like, yeah. So like, I played a game and then I was like, ooh, cool. And yeah, now I'm here.
It's just our
That's just-
story
that
from
sums it
another
up for him.
perspective.
Pretty much.
That's funny. All right. Well, I mean, I think we had a nice podcast today, everybody. A nice, juicy podcast. If anybody's interested in where we came from, I mean, this is a podcast to watch, don't you think, fellas?
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. Maybe not me. I
It
Well,
didn't
was
give many
very
details.
productive. Very well informing.
No, I mean, I didn't give much either. I won't lie, but I mean, I think we're good to wrap it up, boys. I mean, any final comments before we kind of end this
Yeah, I've
recording,
got an
because this is
important
going on YouTube. CNK, what you got?
Dapper is a bandwagon fan. That's enough for me.
I guess
Matty
we're
Ice
gonna end
agrees.
it.
If you didn't hear him,
Matty Ice agrees. All right, I guess we're gonna end it on that. Yeah, shout out to everybody who's watching this right now. Obviously, we're not on stream, so you're watching this. You're watching it on YouTube. But thank you for watching. Thank you for letting us do the podcast. Shout out everybody who's here tonight. Dapper, Iceberg, CNK, Jims. Everybody's great as always on the podcast. We'll be back with some matches. If you haven't already seen them, we'll be back next week with another podcast on Monday. It might be streamed, it may not, but that's gonna do it for us. Hope you have a nice day / night wherever you're watching this right now, and we'll see you guys next time on the CRL Pood. Have a great time.
Goodbye.